Grace and peace, grace and peace, grace and peace. This is a little lunchtime update. I'm only a couple of exits away, but I came down here. I came down here for lunch to show y'all something, to play one thing and show y'all something. Can't get a break. Can't get a break. I think I'm gonna have to go live. I'm gonna have to go live tonight. Grace and peace. Philip, I said you hit me in the email. I told you whenever you let me know, whenever you wanna jump on, I'll send you the link. I missed you last couple of nights, but you know we've been going. But let me show you something, Sister Lewis. Y'all don't believe me. And when I say bother me or terrorize me, I'm listening to some stuff, doing the stuff that I hate, some plumbing. Got to put the toilet bowls in, take them out, put them back in, put the doors up, put the doors down, put the new sinks in. I'm back doing some plumbing stuff. And whilst I'm doing some plumbing stuff, I'm going to share with you what came up. I don't know how they do it. And I know it's probably something simple. Like I just found out it was a private comment section. Y'all can see that, right? It's a challenge. And we're going to talk about that challenge tonight. We're going to talk about this challenge tonight. But y'all see the screen, good people. Y'all see the screen. Y'all see my friend Dante right here. I don't bother these people. They bother me. You see that name right there, Dante? It says @burrito. When you put that, it come up on my phone, then I can see it. I want to make it bigger so y'all could see. I think I can make it bigger. I want to make sure y'all read these words. I'm going to slide it over. Berean TV, this video is from October 2020. The video I shared yesterday was from March 2020. In that 7th month period, I didn't see a single urban apologist come to Neffy's defense when I pressed her about proving there were white Jews in West Africa. This is what we've been talking about. This is what 93's been talking about. This is what Faithful's been talking about. This is what Kevin G's been talking about. And I want to know why, and I'm going to play the video, and I'm going to show you that they're challenging these sources specifically. I told y'all my phone was dying and Faithful and them was on, but let me finish reading Dante. I didn't see a single urban apologist come to Neffy's defense when I pressed her about proving there were white Jews in West Africa. Where were all of the white Jews in West Africa evidenced last year? Read more. Let me click on this. In fact, they didn't even concede to the fact that there were any Jews in Africa until after 2021. Y'all hear this? Until after 2021, any Jews? Any Jews, or I guess he's saying black, white, or whatever, any Jews. Have any of them gone back and apologized for taking the wrong position that there were no Jews in West Africa at all? Because yesterday I was talking about moving the goalpost. So, that's why, people would hit me. He would hit me. People would send me stuff privately. A lot of stuff is coming up and coming around, and that's okay because all I've been wanting to do is talk anyway. So he says, in fact, I'm reading it again. They didn't even concede the fact that there were any Jews in Africa. No, I don't know about in Africa now, because we do talk about the Ethiopian and stuff in Africa until 2021. Have any of them gone back and apologized for taking a wrong position that there were no Jews in all of West Africa? Okay. I've publicly taken down content and change position when I was wrong. This is Dante talking. How many times have you seen any like I said, I don't want to say you, there's just any, because more people are involved in this debate, make a public correction when they have been proven wrong. They don't. Instead, they move the goalpost and pretend like they've held that position the whole time. Last year around this time, they got backed into the corner. This year, they're making their last stand by claiming black Jews descended from, white Jews in West Africa. Even if that were true, wouldn't there still be Jews, or does that not apply to Jews born with black skin? Because remember, we were talking about somebody's pushing the skin doctrine. I said we already know people were black practicing this thing on the continent of Africa who were proselytes, who were converts. That's why we were up in the air. That's not the only problem. The second problem is a lot of people that's claiming Israel, they're propagating Revelation 2 and 9, Revelation 3 and 9, and claiming that those people are not Jews. There are no light-skinned Jews. Say what you want about Timmy Tim Tim. He came up with the Europa thing, and he was presenting that, and, he didn't have a screen or anything. He turned around and he changed his whole screen name to that. So we need to talk. Shout out to everybody that's been on bringing this information up. Shout out to Second Exodus. Shout out to Dante. Shout out to Kevin G. But right now, we got some folk. We got 93 and Faithful is challenging. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to play the video. I'm going to play some videos tonight. If y'all got any videos from Dante or Kevin G and them, and y'all got a timestamp where some stuff is, because I got to go back to work, mess around with you folk, the church is finna expel me. Mess around with you. They done sat me down yesterday, but I had to jump on the highway, come down here and talk about this thing right here. Now, I'm going to play something. And I'm going to be quiet for a minute, and we're going to see what's what. Now, you see what Jordan's saying right here? Man, there's a lot to talk about. I'm not going to start playing with y'all. There's a lot to talk about, and there's some challenges, and why the challenge that 93 and Faithful is doing. This is not them other urban apologists over there, Faithful and Kevin G. Why this is so important? Because the other day, the plumber pulled up Benaiah Israel. A lot of people, they're all using the same few sources when we start dealing with black Jews in Spain. We got to make sure, Portugal, we got to make sure them Jews from the 1500s are not European-looking Jews. We got to make sure of that, because it's two things. Like I said, if that is the truth, we can't, nobody, no Israelite. Nobody, you consider yourself a black Israelite, you better be like Stephen, my man Stephen that come on here. You better be like Slick and other people that come on and say, oh no, we go and we build and we have services and everything with European jewelry. You can't put your mouth talking about who a fake Jew. That's just the beginning of the problems. But I'm going to play this video right here because it's a challenge. The debate's going to go down. I don't even like using the word debate. That's Sinetta in them. We're having lively discussion. We're going to have discussions on this. People can come on if they want to, outside of Faithful. Faithful in 93, of course, they welcome Dante or Second Exodus. No, matter of fact, it was Dante and Taz specifically that they called out for a 2-on-2 discussion. Let's use that word, a 2-on-2 discussion. Dante feels he's already put that out there. He has changed. He said he's pulled some videos down, but we're going to get it out. We got to get some stuff out there. We got to make sure. Let me close this up right here. I'm gonna close this up and I'm gonna play this other thing. Let me see how much time I got. I don't even know if I could. I could definitely play the video. I came here to do that, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this challenge. I want y'all to hear it from the horse's mouth. As soon as the screen come up, I'm gonna hit play.
What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy, Faithful to God, and we are going to be going through another refutation, y'all. Yes, another one. We are going to be refuting Tazarah and Dante Fortson yes again. And as always, I am joined with my co-host, my man, my pal, one of the best independent researchers out. Don't let him listen. Don't let him know that I told y'all that, but one of the best independent researchers out. My man, 93. Say what's up to the audience, 93.
Wait a minute, I made it up to co-host now? When I'm getting paid for this, Faithful? I got bills. Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. It's your boy, 93, independent researcher, just like you. Sitting here with Faithful, reluctantly to give what I would like to say is the last actual free response to Tazarah. And for me, my last time addressing or dealing with Dante Fortson until I can get a formal conversation on a live or a debate on the information presented, specifically the Sephardic Jews and them being our ancestors or the ancestors of African Americans. Other than that, this conversation has really been brought to a bookend. I mean, the last the last video we did, we responded to not even a video, a Facebook post of a attempt at debunking our information or the points we made. And after we did that, the brother Tazarah did a video in which he pretty much ignored about 98% of the stuff we were saying, glossed over maybe one or two things we said, and then just completely just, well, he tried to flood, but it was like a little, mini flood, like a leak of information of just more sources and more sources. So basically, oh, you debunked me here, take that, take this now. And I'm not about to forget a rabbit hole. I'm not about to chase him down the sewer. Basically, if I don't get my points addressed, I'm not gonna waste my time. This will be like the last little thing we do, or last thing I'll be involved in until I can actually get a discussion,
This is not YouTube beef. This is some discussion coming up. It's not beef.
I was trying to unmute. I don't know what happened. Yeah, man. I want to say this right now and be on record about this. Tazarah did not address all of our points. As a matter of fact, did he even address, he didn't address, probably not even like, man, I can't even, he addressed a handful of our points and then went elsewhere and tried to throw more spaghetti at the walls. So we're not going to be addressing all of his claims. However, we're going to be addressing some of his more salient claims. And what we're going to do is, when this live stream is done, we are going to offer an invitation both to Tazarah and Dante Fortson to have a debate. We can have it on Berean TV. We can have it on a different platform, neutral platform. Definitely not a Hebrew Israelite platform, but certainly a neutral platform.
Definitely not a Christian apologist platform. It could be a neutral platform. I don't know if you call Berean a Christian apologist, but he definitely hosts various different people that come to his platform. So I would love to go on his platform and do a debate, a 2-on-2 debate. It's better than a 1-on-1, a 2-on-2. I mean, where the parties involved. Why not, fellas? Let's get it over with.
All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it, because I think people have been waiting long enough. So 93, can you give people the presentation? Let's get right into it. Jump right in and start the refutation now. All right. And let me know when you need me to play anything. I got the video on my end. So if there's anything that you need me to play, I can play it so everyone can hear it. All right.
All right. Let me hit that. Let me make sure I hit this right now. I'm going to stop. I'm not going to play it right now, but y'all heard the introduction. Let me, hold on one second. Y'all heard the introduction, so y'all see what's going on. The reason that this stuff is important is because a lot of people look to certain individuals for information. Like I told y'all, the plumber put up Benaiah Israel, pull that source up. A lot of people look to that Hebrew sphere for certain information. Even so, I'm telling y'all now, even camps are looking at certain things. They're looking into certain things that other people, other researchers are doing. I don't know personally any camps that are out here that's affecting the information on the level that these type of people, like I said, Ron Dalton is putting out and those guys didn't, I don't think they mentioned them at all, but the plumber pulled up Benaiah Israel, Dante. I don't think I know anybody else in the community is putting out the level of information that these people are putting out. If the foundation is faulty, it's going to be a problem. So this is why we have to look at it. If we're banging and we're saying the light-skinned Jews ain't Jews and it's Jews in China, it's Jews all over the place and they look like the people where they live, it's a problem. Then, that's how people can begin to back other people in the corner and say, oh, it's a sin doctrine, or it was a pure movement like the Ethiopian in the book of Acts, but some people turned it to make it a nationalistic movement. When we say Israel has no skin color in the Old Testament. There was everybody. Light skin, dark skin, y'all. Dante quoted what Mace quoted. From red bone, from light skin all the way to blue black, all in between. You deal with Israel. I pull up on Abraham or Henry Abrams. I pull up the rabbi. I pull up other people. I go to different Jewish websites. All are welcome. This has nothing to do with no color. So if a people are pushing a color, If a people are pushing black, we the original, we the one from here, and they're using sources from Spain and from Portugal, and dumb sources are saying something totally different from what they're saying, this is some serious time to really stop and examine every single thing. Every single thing. I like what Dante said. He said he have changed his position. Matter of fact, hold on a second. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna try to put that link in there in case anybody want to jump on. Don't come on here being long with it. And I'm gonna talk about the testimonies, you know, that whole testifying thing. I'm gonna talk about some of that also. I'm gonna do that tonight, but it's lunchtime. I just slid down here for lunch and I said I'm gonna let y'all know because tonight, when I get back in, we're gonna go straight in. We're gonna go straight in. If they jump on, if they don't jump on, I'm gonna open up the floor for other people to come. We're gonna play portions of their video. We're gonna play portions of Dante's video. We're gonna look at the source. We're not running fast at all. We're not running fast at all on this one right here. We're gonna take this thing nice and slow because these are things that need to come out. These are things that we have been discussing. And if anybody is misquoting anything, nobody is saying it's being done deliberate, but if anybody is misquoting anything and it's wrong, and we have other people that say, listen, I'm taking the time, I've done the research, look at this, look at this, look at that, we're gonna see it. Grace and peace, second Exodus. What's good with you, brother? Are you muted? Let me see if I can unmute you. I can't hear you. You might have to, it says you're unmuted. I don't understand. We can't. It says we're, hold on. You might have, at second Exodus, you might have to go out and come back in. I'm trying to read the screen real fast. I'm trying to read some of this stuff. Jordan, come to the microphone, Jordan. Second Exodus trying to get his mic thing together. Or he didn't think I would click on his name that fast. Go ahead, brother. You got the floor.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this. I just wanted to say this one thing, Brother Barine. I believe it is a comprehension problem, and we can clearly see that when Faithful had, I'm gonna use this for example, when Faithful had broke down Deuteronomy 28:6-8, he clearly said that Israelites were selling themselves and nobody would buy them. But if you go a few verses before that, you can see women, children getting sold into captivity, and there would be no might in their hand. That's a comprehension problem. Okay, and another example of that is when they tried to say tie the curses to the land, but you can see that they clearly was going to the blessings and saying that these things would be in the land. Of course, everybody would know that the blessings would be in the land, and the curses. It clearly in Deuteronomy 28, it said he would send you into Egypt again by ships, and there you would be sold into captivity. So that's a comprehension problem. So now you read
wait, hold on, Jordan. Hold on. I'm sorry, brother. Let me just cut you off a minute. How can that be a comprehension problem? Because y'all are claiming that Egypt is America. He said Egypt again. Y'all never been into America. Israelites never been to America. That is a comprehension problem. Go ahead.
Well, if you looking through a lens of an Israelite, when you go to Exodus, you'll see every time after Egypt was placed, you will have a comma. Then it said the house of bondage. That's how Israel looked.
I know Egypt. That's how you interpret Egypt, as the house of bondage.
It's a house of bondage.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can clearly see that in Deuteronomy 28. He said, I'm going to send you into Egypt again, and there you will be sold for captivity. If you being sold to captivity, that's a house of bondage. So we see that there's clearly comprehension problems. And one more thing before I get off this mic. Okay. When he pulled up the Wikipedia source, see, I see a lot of folks talking about Wikipedia on here is pseudo. So he put up a Wikipedia source proving Timmy Tim's point about the Europas. But when I questioned him about telling him that scholars didn't agree on them opinions and that they were Hellenized, see, he went to that part and he started reading, and y'all heard clearly he said that scholars couldn't agree that these pains could be Hellenized, but he didn't get through finish reading that article because he's going to try to put his spin on it and try to make it fit his narrative. We can clearly see there's a comprehension problem.
Okay, I got you. All right. Okay, all right, hold on. Appreciate it. Got you. Not 93. Second Exodus. Try your microphone now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Good. Yes, you sound great now. Go ahead. You got the floor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I didn't want to be too long-winded. Just to let people know, I'm college educated. I have a chiropractic degree. I have a bachelor's in biology, and I'm working towards having a seminary degree. And so when I'm looking at genetics, I'm not a geneticist, but I'm kind of have an idea of where they're, how genetics works.
Yes. A better idea than the average person.
A better idea. And I could see some of the, personally, I could see some of the misunderstandings that people are using, genetics for. Just to make it very simple for everyone to understand. When you have your father's DNA, father has a Y chromosome, that doesn't change. It rarely changes. So I'm just going to give the very simple explanation of it. It doesn't change hardly at all. It's easily traceable. Same thing with the mother's mitochondrial DNA that exists inside the cells. That doesn't change. But then you have the rest of your ancestors, right? Their DNA. That changes. That mixes up a lot. And so that's what we call autosomal DNA.
Okay.
Now, the way I would look at DNA, this is how I would look at it. Deuteronomy 28 specifically talks about a blessing and a curse. If I wanted to go to a restroom, right, I would look for a sign on the door. If I see a person with a dress, then that sign would tell me that this is for the females. So that's how I would look at the identity of who God's people are, who took the covenant during that time period. It was a covenant. So when it comes down to Israelites, there was supposed to be a blessing and a curse on the people. If the people obeyed, they'll be blessed. If the people disobeyed, there was a certain amount of signs and wonders for the nations to identify who was Israel and who was not Israel, ethnically.
Ethnically?
Ethnically.
Okay.
And so there is a mixed multitude that came out with Israel too, out of Egypt. And so I remember hearing in the last video where they talked about a man who had a Jewish mother but a Egyptian father. So everybody who comes under the covenant becomes Israel. And then there's a commonwealth of Israel, meaning that the stranger that circumcises themselves and submit under the law can gain citizenship, because it's all about citizenship into the kingdom. Has nothing to do with your, if you descend from the patriarchs, but it has everything to do with obedience and faith.
So wait a minute now. I want you to take your time now. So it has nothing to do. You don't have to physically descend from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's correct.
Okay, keep going.
So there was in the New Testament, they mention how before there was Levi, Abraham took a tenth of the offering to Melchizedek.
That's correct.
And Jesus was after the order of Melchizedek, so he has a better priesthood than the Levites. But Jesus also said in the Old Testament that the Levites, there will be a segment of Levites that will serve him forever. So it doesn't get rid of anything that God doesn't change. It doesn't get rid of the mission and the purpose Israel has on earth. It simply means that in our disobedience, while we are disobedient, the other nations will have access to the gospel. And they also, our fall is more so of a blessing to the nations. I think of it like a seed kernel. The seed kernel has to be planted and it dies.
Yes, correct.
Then more fruit comes from that. So when Israel was placed under the punishment, that fruit of the gospel of Jesus Christ was able to spread throughout the nations. And that's the bloodline that only matters. Now, does that change God's promise to Abraham's seed? That doesn't change that.
To his physical seed.
His physical seed.
Okay, keep going.
So, the way the Bible reads is a narrative of salvation. So God is taking a people that he disinherited through disbelief, but yet he came to die for all people, and he still has a way to save physical Israel along with everybody, all nations.
It's physical Israel. But you still believe it's something separate for physical Israel.
Well, the way I look at it, I think about Adam, for one. Adam is the son of God. And all of those who believe and have the faith of God are considered to be the sons and daughters of God, the children of God. But I simply believe that when God separated the nations from Ham, Shem, and Japheth,
Mm-hmm.
and he scattered them to their own lands, that he also took a lineage from Shem, and through Abraham, God was going to use a priestly nation for all the nations, just like God took a priestly tribe, the Levites,
Mm-hmm.
and made them the priestly tribe and made them separate and holy among the 11 tribes. That's what God did with the nation of Israel. He made them separate and holy nation for all the nations. So
how do you what's your take on because I think when you were on, you were on with Kevin. That's when the other sources came up with the man on the horse and the cross and and all of that stuff, that picture.
Right.
What's the name of that? I'm sorry. What was the name of the fountain? What was it? The King's Fountain?
The King's Fountain.
Okay, go ahead. So tell us some take on that and how you think there's different understandings of what's being said, because I pulled up another article from when it was traveling around and they were going to take it to Princeton and people were going watching it and what the writer said. Why do you think there's different interpretations there?
I think there's different interpretations because there's different sources of information that we are all grabbing from.
Mm-hmm.
So if I decide to take a source of information and say, well, I'm going to believe this source because it was written, in 1840. Another person say, well, I'm going to take this source because it's, it's more up to date, it's more modern, it's more available.
Mm-hmm.
And it really depends on faith and belief at that moment, because none of us were really there. So we're going off of information that's been passed down to us.
Okay.
Personally, I'm looking at the King's Fountain, and I'm seeing an ethnic group of people. And I see one ethnic group of people who seemingly seem distressed in that portrait.
Okay.
More so than the other people. I believe Kevin G mentioned that the man that was riding on the horse with the red cross,
mm-hmm.
he was in a status of nobility.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, I looked also in the picture, and there were several other horses, and it seemed like that one person that was on the horse, that was the only black person on the horse.
That's true. If I remember the picture, that's true. I can't pull it up right now, but that's true.
Yeah, there were several white people on the horses.
Yes. Okay.
So that means that there was an ethnic group that was probably more socially, economically advanced than
what. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. One last thing. Y'all know I gotta jump back in the car and give myself time to get back down here. How do you see? You think in the 1400, 1490, I think 92. That was when the Moors were kicked out.
Yes, the Moors were expelled from Granada in 1492.
Let me ask you a question though. How do you see? Who do you think was? Do you look at it like rulership? Do you think there were different classes of blacks? They were predominantly slaves. They were predominantly royalty. How do you think it worked back then? How do you see it?
I see it that it's the same as today.
The same as that thing?
Mm-hmm. I see that there was black people back then who was in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
There was black people in a sort of better standing. They may have had trades or education. And then there was Black people who were in nobility. They were in the king's courts, able to be advisors and do different administration duties.
So when you see how do you see this whole situation when we start talking about European Jews? Do you hold a position that they're fake Jews out here, fake people out here practicing the religion of Moses?
I don't think anybody is fake. The only difference that I see is that there are people who are pushing a narrative that say they descend from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob physically.
Okay.
And then there's people who are claiming that they're the physical descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So those are the only two differences that I see. I do believe
that's the contention right there.
That's the contention. And
okay, keep going.
It's more like it's what I mentioned earlier about the conversions during the Holy Roman Empire.
Yes.
You started with 150,000.
And then a few years later,
ethnic Jews.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few years later, there's 8 million Jews. And this is within a 100-year time period.
That's a whole bunch.
This reference comes from Dr. Lewis R. Gordon. Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Lewis R. Gordon, and he speaks about it in great detail. He's a Sephardic Jew from Jamaica.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So if anybody wants to take a look at Dr. Lewis R. Gordon, Gordon, that would be a great source. And he can describe where he gets his sources from in his books.
And we could take it from there. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Second, I got to get back to work. I will pick this up. I'm going to be, I don't know, I'll probably be in 5, something like that. Maybe we'll pick this up about 7 o'clock. I'm going to play a little more of that faithful thing. I'm going to play some of Dante's thing. I'm going to put the link out there, give them opportunity to jump on, and others can come on and comment on that also. Name that author one more time, sir.
The name of the doctor, his name is Dr. Lewis R. Lewis R. Gordon, Gordon. And the name of the book that describes the Portugal portrait, that's Hannah. That's the author, Hannah Adams.
Hannah Adams. Okay, y'all got that. I'm writing this down. All right, y'all. I got to go back to work. Thank you so much. We'll pick it up later on. Okay, a couple more hours when I get off.
Okay.
With plumbing. All right. God bless.
God bless.